Look at this car. A very fine car, with years of joyous motoring ahead of it. But wait, what's this? A woman? Which seat is she going to get into? The driver's seat? Hey you! Traditional wives belong in the passenger seat. Girls should concentrate on womanly activities like baking and having babies. This stubborn lady is too headstrong for her own good. See what happens. How predictable. This was always going to end in disaster. Women, for pity's sake, don't drive.
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and apparently the left is absolutely losing its mind at the prospect of women being happy. That's right. I mean, like, it's literally that simple. There's a new TikTok trend about being a trad wife, and most people would define being a trad wife or a traditional wife as somebody who is stay at home. Maybe they take care of the kids, they cook and clean, they take care of their man, basically everything the left hates. And now they're coming out and putting out some of the most ridiculous arguments against it because they're afraid. Because they're afraid that people are going to actually figure out that maybe we don't need to live a life of excess in such a way that both people need to have a job. And maybe the whole girl boss thing isn't as attractive as it used to be. You know, the idea of that you can go out and have it all, sure, you can. And I think that women can work, and if they want to work, they should work. But like, there are many studies that seem to indicate women were never happier than when they were stay-at-home moms. And gradually, over time, the left and feminism and all this stuff told women that in order to have self-worth, they have to work. They have to be a girl boss, and they have to grow up and not worry about having kids and all this kind of stuff. When the reality is, what's happening now to a lot of these millennial couples is they're realizing that the clock is ticking and that they're 35, 36, 40, 45. They have no kids, and they look around and they have stuff, but they don't have a family to share it with. I mean, it's certainly even something that I've thought about too. Now, you know, obviously, everybody's different, but you start to get to be that age, and you start thinking like, do I need a new car? Or maybe we could have another 3-4 years out of this old car. I guess what I'm saying is, two incomes isn't always completely necessary. And now they're so upset that there are people making being a traditional wife look good, that this is what they're writing. I went down that trad wife rabbit hole and found out these lifestyle influencers use videos about baking and cleaning as a vehicle for fundamentalist Christianity and white nationalism. What? Like, it seems like this is a huge cope to me. Like, this is a hilarious cope. Carl Benjamin talked a bit about the video and said, this is a fascinating video. Zakar is recycling the 2015 era feminist talking points and attempting to render the enjoyment that many women get from being a trad housewife as some sort of evil trap. Zakar's entire position is pervaded by a quiet desperation that women are peeling away from feminism's corporate drone culture and trying to morally whip them back into line by throwing in scary-sounding words like white nationalism, disinformation, conspiracy theories. To try and persuade women, by the way, that they have to be wage slaves, she pulls up some actual white nationalists to represent women who want to stay home and bake for their families, as if these groups are any one in the same. Don't become a trad wife, girls. You might accidentally become a Nazi. But what is she really asking here is she's demanding women go out and compete with men. When these women are saying they don't want to be breadwinners, they want to cooperate with men instead. They want traditional relationships, and Sakar's position depends on women submitting to modern life, which Sakar herself admits sucks. And this is, essentially debunking the trad wife movement. I mean, are you joking? It's almost like these people work for like
Lately, I've been seeing this.
corporations, right? And that they're trying to tell everyone, uh, hey, you have to, you must work and pay taxes into the system so your government can give it to more people that don't need it or deserve it. We need you to go to work so we can send more money to Ukraine. I mean, like, it's hilarious to me. And they say trad wife will never catch on, not with the cost of living in the UK. Well, you make exceptions, and yeah, it isn't financially viable for everybody. That's just a fact. The fact of the matter is. But you see these comments. What I find most concerning about this trad wife trend is the women are promoting it is likely enough social media following to make their own money with it, which therefore offers them a safety net of financial independence to fall back on. So what she's saying is the scariest part about these women who are stay-at-home moms is that they're also successful. That's what this woman's biggest fear is. If these women really believed in trad wifery, they'd stop making these videos, shut up and go clean the house. No, the bigger issue is that they're just YouTubers that found a niche that makes money. What? It's so funny. These people are so programmed into this everybody has to work. I thought for me, it was a great honor when my wife no longer had to work. I never said you can't work. I never said, oh, my wife will not work and she will wear an apron all day. But I got to admit, it's kind of nice. But not everyone can do that. But the idea that all women who like being traditional wives are like somehow less than or somehow like a problem, that tells you all you need to know. Like this woman's having a complete melty about, creators who are happy being traditional wives.
Doing all the domestic labor. Men and women are meant to have rigidly distinct roles in the home, in their relationships.
So she goes on to talk about they're really just mad that these women who say, hey, you know what, there's options out there that don't involve me working 80 hours a week. Maybe I'm fine with, maybe I don't need to consume the newest Apple iPhone every year. Hey, I know this is crazy. Maybe I don't even need a smartphone. Maybe I don't need to spend $200 a month on cell phone bills. Maybe, all these things that are the antithesis of what modern feminism has done to women. Again, you want to work? Cool. Some women really like working and they really get a lot of fulfillment from that. And there's nothing wrong with that. But other women really like taking care of the home, managing the home, cooking for their family, raising their kids. Imagine spending time with your husband, spending time with your kids, and not having to exchange shifts. Sargon continues. Sakar presents a fantastical scenario that we should envisage of an ill-defined, idealistic, woo-woo future in which women are free to have families, but also free to not work, and also free to not be financially dependent on their husbands. This, side by side with the gall to suggest that trad housewives are idealizing previous culture. How does this actually translate into real women in the real world actually want? The answer is, of course, it's that it doesn't. Most women don't want the kind of hedonistic isolation that the eternal grind that Sakar unwittingly proposes women can't have at all. And that the thing Sakar is too trapped in her own ideology to accept. These women actually want to belong to something more important than themselves and have people who depend on them. They want to be a part of a family. To achieve this, the trad wives have realized that cooperating with men is key to both getting what they want. Modern women have a choice. Do you want to be replaceable corporate drone, or do you want to be loved and relied upon? I 100% agree. Again, I'm not saying that being a trad wife is what's best for everyone. But the thing is that feminists and other unhappy women are saying that women must work and that they must find joy in I don't know, grinding work and stuff like that. Otherwise, they're not real women. They're still controlled by men. The idea that a man whose wife does not have to work and chooses not to is like looked down upon by anybody is hilarious to me. You have more time for family, more time for church, more time for baking, more time for hobbies. You can help your husband work, by the way. Whoever's like the bigger earner, I'm sure there could be a trad husband too. If the wife was the primary breadwinner, there's nothing wrong with the husband staying at home either. The whole thing is hilariously ridiculous. But what can I say? I mean, this is the system realizing that maybe we don't need to endlessly work. Maybe women don't need to spend their entire lives trying to climb the corporate ladder. Maybe they can achieve much more fulfillment by working with their husband, cooperating with them, being the complement to them, as opposed to competing with them so that you both work your whole lives to achieve a pile of stuff for no reason other than some other unhappy woman told you to do so. It's absolutely hilarious to watch, and I think the system is correcting itself. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do leave a like on it, and we'll talk to you again real soon.